They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer boy. Took a Zach, watch the door. Matter of fact, like the door. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Shaw. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper Free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. You can't do with them steps, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Shalom, Israel. We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. This is the Monday night scripture breakdown class in Killeen, Texas. Let's get a Lord a hand. We've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible since 1969. I mean, something that your Christian pastor is ill-equipped to do, right? I mean, the Christian pastors have been running or have been the spiritual authority of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for how many years? I mean, the Christian church, the Catholic church, I mean, the Muslims, we didn't try everything. I mean, we didn't give in our spirit and we gave everything a shot. I mean, trying to find the Most High, trying to find our culture, because let your oppressor tell it, we don't have a culture, or our culture starts with the transatlantic slave trade, which now they want to try to turn into a transatlantic migration. Right? But we tried everything. We're trying everything, trying to find some sort of spirituality and some source of Salakia. We didn't try everything, trying to find some sort of good night. Trying to find trying to find some sort of spirituality and You know what I mean? Trying to find the most high, trying to find some sort of culture, because for so long we've been told that we don't have a culture. And we didn't try everything, and and we our condition in this earth hasn't improved. But here in the ISUPK, well, first of all, our culture is in His Bible. That's the first thing that you need to understand. And in the ISUPK, we teach the Bible. We've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans their true culture and identity since 1969, so that we can come out of hell, so that we can actually have the tools that we need to be able to navigate this world that's so cruel to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and so that we can get up out of hell. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you got any questions or comments, you know what I mean, put them in the chat. You got any questions in the room, you go ahead, raise your hand. You got questions, or okay, no sweat. Well, if any questions pop up throughout the night, you know what I mean, feel free to ask them. Well, so what was I gonna say? Like it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel as well. Whether you agree or not, whether you a fan or not, or whatever the case is, whether you're in the school or not. I mean, no matter what your ethnicity is, or what your religion, or what your stance is, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean, like the all of that. You know what I mean, and make sure you hit that QR code. If you, I don't know if you might not be watching this class live. You might be watching it live, or you might be watching it a couple days from now. You know what I mean, make sure you, if you not watching it live, make sure you hit that QR code. And more than new tonight, there'll be brothers in that chat to be able to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. You know what I mean, today, you know what I mean, today is of course January 6th. It's the what's it called? The anniversary of the storming of the Capitol, right? The storming of the Capitol that your oppressor did. You know what I mean? When I believe when Trump lost the election against Joe Biden, when he tried to run for his second term as president, uh, if I'm not mistaken. But after he lost the election, they stormed the Capitol and did all sorts of atrocities. You know what I mean? Stormed the Capitol. I think two or three people, two or three police officers, you know what I mean, lost their life. They took a dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and you know what I mean, all sorts of heinous things. Now, off the rip, you know what I mean, the first thing that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans should recognize from that instance, from that January 6th, was if any Black, Hispanic, and Native American did that exact same thing, because we got a lot to storm the Capitol about. We got a lot to protest about. We got a lot to be angry about. You know what I mean? But if we did any of the things that your oppressor does, we not gonna last long. That's why we was marching through the streets talking about no justice, no peace, defund the police. Because, you know what I mean, your oppressor, I mean, they can take your life and then get paid for it. You know what I mean? And they use, I don't know if you know, but they use your money to pay them. Well, your police force, which again, you fund the police force, your tax dollars go to the city, which they use that money, or that's what they tell you. They say that the reason why you got to pay taxes is to fund, you know what I mean, city, you know what I mean, like what they say, to pave the roads, which, you know, I mean, the roads never get paved, but they say that your tax dollars go to things like that, to fund the fire department, and to fund the police force, and to fund, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, hospitals and all of that. Where so your police force takes the lives of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which you fund, and then after they take your life, now they get paid leave, which your tax dollars also fund. And then once they go and pay leave, they get shipped to another precinct, like they did to the police officer who took the life of Tamir Rice. They send them to another precinct across town to do the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Kind of. You say that you got a mic?
So like I said, some of them, most of them get promoted to the next rank. Just,
Huh?
just, just off. I guess they get, they get the word I'm looking for. I guess the tally marks. I guess you want to say for killing unaliving black Hispanic and they've been married. So see, they get some of them, they get promoted. Like they get highly recognized in the precinct that they kill unalive black Hispanic Native Indian man. So that's crazy. Just like you said, storming the Capitol. I remember that day. I watched it. Like you said, it's just I was the same thing went through my head. Was the same thing that went through yours. Like that have been all. It would have been black people going across that thing. It would have been a mass massacre.
God.
It would have been a massacre, and they just let them go through. You could tell who's on top of the food chain, who's not.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So that was just crazy that day. That happened. Like man, just imagine that was us. Like,
God.
the bodies have been picking up out of that street.
Oh yeah, they waiting. They can't wait for the day where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans stand up and think that you're gonna take America by force, or you're gonna stand up against America with physical force.
Man,
they can't wait for that day.
Black Hawks would have came down there. It would have been all kind of stuff. They try. We would have did some stuff like that. And that's the crazy thing about it. The same man that orchestrate the whole thing with his words. The same man about to be president in a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. He could do all that. 34 counts of stuff he did. He's still about to becoming. Still be the president in a couple of days. It's crazy.
Now, everything you said was extremely heavy, and that's the point of the what we're about to get into tonight. Like, we think like when we see things like that, when we see when we see things like when what's his name? Sam DuBose. You're familiar with Sam DuBose? It's a brother in from my hometown that was he had his life taken by a not even a police officer. He was a University of Cincinnati police officer. So not even the city of Cincinnati. It's campus police. Campus police took his life. And I remember before I came to Texas, like I used to catch the bus and walk to work, you know what I mean? And I remember the streets was crowded. Like I could barely get to work, you know what I mean? Because it was just constant marches. And they did 3 retrials. Of this case because, you know what I mean? Every time they let him off. They found him not guilty. They let him off. They, you know what I mean? And, like we spent so much time like marching through the streets, you know what I mean, for so many black lives that was lost in the same way. You know what I mean? And we surprised, like when we see things like that, we think it's a fluke. Like it's just like, oh, it's unfortunate that this happened. Or it's like, oh, that's just it's the legal system. Or something like it's like what's the word? Like it's not working. It's like the system. But what we don't realize is that's how it's designed. Please go ahead.
It's like people got to understand the origin of policing.
Right. That's the point.
Slaves. That's why they came up with the policing. So they go catch the one. So they don't know if they know the origin. It was never designed. It was designed against you, not for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was there to protect them, protect their property, their investment. You know what I'm saying? So it's still the same way it is today. It's kind of but systematic. Either you're not in the cotton field anymore, or you're gonna be in the prison systems. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna take a father out the house, leave the mother in the house by herself to raise the kids, force her, to be independent, go into anxiety, depression. She start doing if she gonna be desperate, she gonna start selling drugs or doing drugs or You know what I mean? Robbing people or whatever they would do prostitution, selling ourselves just to take care of our family. So it's all
God,
designed, it's all a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? So
God. And that's the whole lock you. That's the whole point right there. Like we think that I'm gonna wait till you get there. Lock you. Uh, you good? That's IBR. Yeah, you good? Just let him in, and if you ever start. But what we like when we look at Salakia, if you could if you don't mind finding me the precept says vengeance is of the Lord. Oh, I found it. Romans 12 and 19. Salakia. Oh goddamn. What's on Christ? But when we see things like that, like when we see our oppressor getting away with these heinous crimes, but then you can't steal a pack of bubble gum from the store. You steal a pack. Like I remember at the same time that, you know what I mean? At the same time as our oppressor was getting away with these heinous crimes, where Sam DuBose, you know what I mean, had his life taken by a, you know what I mean, University of Cincinnati police officer, or, you know what I mean, what's his name? Trayvon Martin. He had his life taken by some damn. Oh my God, I gotta tighten up because I'll be wanting to what be wanting to come out of my mouth if it do not be priestly. But what was I saying? Trayvon, the oppressor that killed, or it's like that took the life of Trayvon Martin. You know what I mean? At the same time, where like he was just a neighborhood watch. He just some Joe with a t-shirt on, a neighborhood watch t-shirt, you know what I mean, that took this young boy's life. And when we see things like that, what we got to remember is like when we see it, we just like at the same time we were seeing that, you know what I mean, was the same time where I think two sisters lost their life, you know what I mean, in a grocery store a grocery store run by, you know what I mean, Moabites, the so-called Chinese, you know what I mean, because they thought that they were stealing $5 eyelashes. So they shot them. The owners of the store shot them. You know what I mean? So you can't steal, they can't even think that you're stealing $5 eyelashes, but they can on camera repeatedly take the lives of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and not only get away with it scot free, but they get paid for it. And they continue to get like they get shipped to another precinct to do the same thing. You know what I mean? And like you said, they get a raise, they get paid more, they get you know what I mean, promoted. I mean, we see those things and we think that that's like a fluke. It's just a uh loophole in the system that need to be fixed. But in reality, like you said, like that's what it takes to be a good American, to hate you, to hate black people. You know what I mean? That's why, like you said before, like how Donald Trump can be the president of the United States with his reputation. Like he shouldn't have been. If America stood on the values that they claim to stand on, he shouldn't have been the president the first time because his reputation was founded on grabber by the box. His foundation was founded, or his reputation was founded on, you know what I mean, sexual misconduct and, you know what I mean, criminal activity. That was the foundation of his, you know what I mean, of his character. I mean, but he won the presidency the first time. And then, you know what I mean, he lost to Joe Biden, but now he won the presidency the second time, despite being, what is it, 34 count felony? Being a 34 count felon. We think it's strange because as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're kind. You know what I mean? We're kind, and we not only are we kind, and we know ourselves, like it's wrong to, you know what I mean, steal from people. It's wrong to do certain things. It's wrong to sexually harass or sexually abuse people. It's wrong to, you know what I mean, take life and to, you know what I mean, do all these different things that you see other people doing. But, you know what I mean, what we fail to realize is that to be a good American, that's what it takes. Like the reason why Donald Trump got elected was because of his disdain for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The reason why he was elected president is because he's a felon. Because like white or your oppressor, they look at Donald Trump as a gangster. Like he's a white gangster. You know what I mean? He's like Joe Pesci or some, you know what I mean? These Italian crime. Like that's how they look at Donald Trump. Like he's well respected because of his crimes against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You about to say something? I see that mic coming in.
Because like go out to grade school, like they worship the gangster, the Al Capones and all that, the Bonnie and Clyde. You hear all the time. It's crazy because like you got 34 counts. Brothers. He get a top one of the top jobs in the United States. You got brothers coming. Brothers. Hispanic brothers get out of prison. You get a felony. You get a felony. It's hard to get a job. Then when you don't do your full time, you have 15 years to do. You got out in 10. You got 5 years. You got to pay to get the parole officer. So you a felon. You got to pay the parole officer. You can't get a job. It's set up for you to fail.
Right.
You can't get a job. You got to pay the parole officer. You don't pay the parole officer. What happened? You gonna go back and do the other 5 years.
Yeah.
So how the person supposed to get a job? You a felon and nobody, even Burger King don't want to hire you.
Right.
McDonald's don't want to hire you. So what are you gonna force the brother to go do? Go back to his old ways.
Right.
Go back and selling, doing what he got to do to survive, to pay his parole, so he can even go back to do the 5 years.
Yeah.
Then he get caught. He get caught doing selling drugs. That 5 years, he added more to that time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I said earlier, it's just set up so you could fail. Set up for you to fail. So brothers and sisters could go back to the prison so they collect that money for them being in prison. It's all. I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad how this stuff set up. And we need to wake up and see how the system's against us. A lot of people try to get into the system, try to fix it. You're not going to fix it. It was not set for you to. It was set up against you. You're not going to fix something that was set up against you. They're going to make sure that you not going to fix it. They're going to stand like it is, so you can continue to profit off of you. Things like maybe I don't know the statistics, but I know we got a lot of Hispanic brothers, black brothers that is in the prison cells, sisters in the prison cells, more than what the white people has in the systems, in the prison systems. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, like I say, it's all about a dollar, and the system's not for us.
That's literally the point right there. Like what you said. Give him a hand. Like I forget who, I can't remember who shared it, but somebody shared a video of a sister speaking on like exactly what we're talking about. He said every system in America is working exactly how it's designed to. Like the prison system, it's no accident that we are in the prison system at exponential rates. It's no accident that we're, that we flood in the prison system, that we flood in, that our neighborhoods are flooded with drugs, and there's a what's it called? A drugs, the hell is it called? A damn liquor store on every corner, right next to the Christian church. There's no accident that that they flood your TV with LGBTQ activity and your TV shows. Every so-called black TV show is flooded with LGBTQ activity. Like you damn near can't make it as a black entertainer without doing something LGBTQ. Like that's no accident. And we think that it is. And that's the problem. Like if you could just look at America for what it is, I promise blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will be better off. Let me get what 12 and 19
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, said the Lord.
See, what happens with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is we are hot or cold people. You know what I mean? We either are on the far right side or we on the far left side, meaning we either, well, I don't want to say far right or far left, but we either, we either are, we in the streets heavy, like we gonna get it however we got to get it, whether we got to take somebody's life or whether we got to, go to risk take penitentiary chances, whether we got to sell drugs, whether we got to rob you, or whatever we got to do. You know what I mean? We either gonna do that or we gonna be super duper Christians. You know what I mean? But what you gotta understand is when you see your oppressor, you know what I mean, storming the Capitol, when you see your oppressor mass incarcerating blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and all the things that they do to us, you know what I mean, this is what you gotta remember. Read that from the top again.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved.
Dearly beloved. So you gotta, first of all, you gotta remember that you're beloved by the Most High. And the Most High gave us stipulations. He gave us guidelines to follow. And he said, if you follow these guidelines, that you'll be above all these nations. So we wouldn't have to worry about the Derek Chauvins of this world. We ain't got to worry about the hell is Jordan. What is dude name that just, you know what I mean, choked that brother out on the subway, and now you know what I mean, what's his name? Donald Trump honored him. Something Penny, something. But you know what I mean, you won't have to worry about them because you'll be above all people on the face of the earth. Go ahead. So, dearly beloved, you are beloved of all nations upon the face of the earth. Salaki, go ahead.
Avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath.
So you can't avenge yourself. You know what I mean? You can't. This fight that we, you know what I mean, this fight that we fighting is spiritual. That's why, you know what I mean, what the Christian church is doing, the thing that they teach you, you know what I mean, is so evil because they're teaching you an evil lesson spiritually. They're teaching you something evil. They're teaching you that it don't matter that there's a, you know what I mean, a white depiction of Christ on every wall in the Christian church. It doesn't matter that, you know what I mean, you think God loves everybody. You know what I mean? That is something evil. That is a evil spiritual lesson that they're teaching you. All right, go ahead.
For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, said the Lord.
See, vengeance is the Lord's. See, what we're fighting is a spiritual battle. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to fight this battle by, you know what I mean, rising up and, you know what I mean, busting your oppressor upside the head. And, or, you know what I mean, throwing bricks through windows. Well, you know what I mean, 2020, 2021, 2022, when we was protesting and all of that. That's not how you're going to win this fight. You know what I mean, this is a spiritual battle. You know what I mean, because, you know what I mean, what happens? Say, for instance, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans do, you know what I mean, storm the Capitol, like, you know what I mean, our oppressor did. And we take America by force. And we get in the office, and now it's all black president. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Christian church like to say, what's it called? What they say, infiltrated from within. You gotta join, you gotta be a part of politics and be a politician, be a senator and be a governor and all of that, and infiltrated from within. You know what I mean? Be a police officer, be the change you want to see in the world and all of that. You know what I mean? You join the police force. And when you see your oppressor taking your life, you know what I mean, you just become a police officer and you do it the right way. You know what I mean? You get in the military and you infiltrate America and change America from within. You know what I mean? By being a part of America, which is crazy as I'm saying it out loud. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? What happens when you do that? But your morals are the same as your oppressor. You know what I mean? Well, we getting high. You know what I mean? We drug addicts, just like our mothers, just like our fathers. You know what I mean? We're child abusers. You know what I mean? In every single way. We're good Christians where we love everybody. And what happens when we get in power? America's just gonna be the exact same way, but just with black faces. And that's what you see now. You know what I mean? Because we are joining the police force, and we are becoming politicians and senators and governors, and joining the military and all of those different things. And guess what? You know what I mean? We treating blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans just like Derek Chauvin treated George Floyd. That's how we treat other blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans when we join ICE. When Hispanic, it always blows my mind when I go to the border and I see most of the border patrol is Hispanics. Like, I hardly see an oppressor that's border patrol. Like, you would think, like, if you're not from Texas, which I'm not, you know what I mean? That's why it blew my mind. If you're not familiar, you know what I mean? if you're not familiar with the border patrol and all of that, you would think like when you hear about border patrol, you would think that it's just oppressors keeping Hispanics out. But you go to the border and you see border patrol in them green uniforms, and it's Hector, it's Jose, it's you know what I mean. You look at the police force in Texas, the what's it called, what they call them, the state troopers. It's Hector, it's Gonzalez, it's Officer Gonzalez and Officer Juarez and Hernandez, and it's a brother, it's a sister. You know what I mean? Like that's what you see. Like this point being, you know what I mean, this is not a physical or a carnal battle that you're gonna be. I believe it says in Ephesians the sixth chapter. Ephesians the sixth chapter. Con. Like this is a spiritual battle. You know what I mean? That we fighting. But this is read what you got again, Salakia.
Let me go from the top.
Let me see where we at.
On 19.
19th, the water. Vengeance is mine.
Start from vengeance is mine. Con. Verse 19. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, said the Lord.
No, who will repay?
Said the Lord. I will repay, said the Lord.
No, Dr. Sabi will repay.
I will repay, said the Lord.
Now, Dr. Umar Johnson will repay.
I will repay, said the Lord.
Now, Dr. Martin Luther King.
I will repay, said the Lord.
Malcolm X.
I will repay, said the Lord.
No, who the next blackity black? Who the next blackity black? Whoever the next blackity black, Polite, right? Polite will repay.
Yeah.
Is that what the Bible says?
I will repay, said the Lord.
Saith the Lord. The Lord will repay. I mean, the only thing that will get Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of the condition of captivity that we in, this brainwashing that we under, is following the Most High. I mean, that's the only one that could get us out of this condition. You know what I mean? We're not going to get salvation by storming the Capitol or, you know what I mean, trying to vote. We're not going to be able to vote our way out of slavery, because if we could just vote our way out of slavery, who voted for slavery? Like, we didn't vote for slavery. You know what I mean? That's what we got to understand. But what you got to understand about this Bible and this culture, you know what I mean? What you got to understand about the Most High is that He's trying to give Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans justice. But you're not going to be able to get that justice by, you know what I mean, by being like your oppressor, by making marriages with your oppressor, by eating the same unclean animals that your oppressor eats, by, you know what I mean, by kissing your oppressors behind, by serving that white Jesus that looks like your oppressor, by celebrating your oppressor's holidays. You're not going to get out of this condition by being just like your oppressor, by getting along, going along to get along. It's not how you're going to get out of this condition. The only way you're going to get out of this condition is if you follow these laws, statutes, and commandments that we teach and the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. You know what I mean? That's in this Bible. That's been in this Bible all along. And once we come back to our culture, then you see the Most High God give Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans justice. Give me Isaiah the 14th chapter. You can start at the first verse. But this whole time, you know what I mean, the Most High is trying to give Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans justice. That's what we've never been taught in the Christian church, because the Christian church is all about love. So even though what we're about to read is right there in the Bible, you know what I mean, and even the scripture that we just read in Romans, the 12th chapter, like your Christian church makes that effeminate. Like they say, oh, vengeance is mine, I will repay. So when we see, you know what I mean, that's just another God loves everybody scripture to the Christian church. So when they read that or when they hear that in the Christian church, they just like this God that they don't even believe in. They don't even believe in God. Like they don't even believe in the Most High as the scriptures have said. They don't even believe in Christ as the scriptures have said. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't believe nothing in this Bible. They think everything in this Bible is done away with. So when they read vengeance is mine, I will repay, this imaginary God in their mind, you know what I mean, is going to, you know what I mean, fix all their problems. And most of the time, like when they read that, they thinking about you. They thinking about another black man. So if you're in a grocery store and you circle in the grocery store parking lot trying to find a parking spot, and another black, Hispanic, or Native American brother or sister take your parking spot, that's when that scripture comes to mind. It's like, oh, vengeance is of the Lord. The Lord is gonna get them. You know what I mean? That when we think of like vengeance, we only thinking about black people. You know what I mean? But the Bible is about one nation of people who has been oppressed by everybody. You know what I mean? You read the book of Psalms, the read the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. You know what I mean? It'll tell you every nation of people is against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They are confederate against thee. You know what I mean? You read the book of Judith, the 20th or the 5th chapter, and it'll tell you that they know exactly how to get the most high against you. And that's the only way that they're going to be able to overtake you. You know what I mean? But the only way for us to be able to be successful in this earth is to have the most high on our side by following these laws, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead, read what you got.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord would have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
So this is the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. Jacob is the progenitor of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and yet choose Israel. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So the Israelites come from the 12 sons that came out of Israel, or Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Go ahead.
And set them in their own land.
Set them in their own land. Go ahead.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
So the strangers are anybody who are not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Who are these, like how they call you illegal immigrants, or they call you aliens, and they call you, I mean, all these slurs and bywords and all of that. Yeah, you know I mean, they're strange. They're strange nations because they are not your family. They are not your brothers. Go ahead.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So these other nations will be joined with you. You know what I mean? This is where your Christian pastor is going to close the book. They're going to close the book. And the other nations will be joined, and then they're going to start hitting them keys. You know what I mean? Them drums going to start to, you know what I mean, start to playing. And then before you know it, it's a whole song and dance and everybody crying, and it's a whole concert. And now you done put your whole check in the damn bucket. You know what I mean? But let's read some more. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. These other nations are going to cleave to the house of Jacob, to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Let's find out why.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Salaki, I was distracted by this comment. Verse 2. Hold on one second. Whoever this is, I don't know if I'm gonna give you too much time, but what the hell are you talking about? Like, what is this? What is your point? What are you trying to say? Come on, break it down. Break it down. Because I got a feeling that you just some nutcase that's just talking mess. Now, if you got an actual point, or you got a question or a comment that's actually, you know what I mean, provable or refutable, you know what I mean, then we can entertain it. But I'm willing to bet that you know what I mean. Okay, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and see. This is the product of Christianity. Like, what? Like, you gonna have to break down everything you just said. All right, you're gonna have to break down all of that and explain. Okay? Do you know how to? I don't know if you went to high school. I don't know what your level of education is. I don't know if you got your you know what I mean, a high school diploma or whatever. But when you're making an argument, right, you have to present sources. So quote a source. Like, what are you talking about? All right. You know what I mean? And that will make for better conversation. Right. I know there's a lot that, you know what I mean, there's a lot of things that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans believe, and there's a lot to believe in America. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different paths to go down in America. You know what I mean? But if you're going to present something new, just quote your source, and you know what I mean, get me up to speed. You can't just be just rambling in the chat. But let me get verse 2. All right, so Isaiah the 14th chapter, it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and a stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." All right, go ahead.
Verse 2, and the people shall take them
And the people shall take them. The people, the Israelites that were aforementioned in the first verse, go ahead.
and bring them to their
And
place.
bring them to their place. Uh-huh.
The
Go
hou-
ahead.
The house and the house of Israel shall possess them.
Shall do what?
Possess them.
Shall do what?
Possess them.
Now they shall love them.
Possess them.
Shall hold hands with them.
Possess them.
Shall learn what their crazy doctrines.
Possess them
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
in the land of the Lord.
What does it mean? Let me ask you a question. At Sushi Murphy, what does it mean when one person possesses another person? What does that mean? Just let me know real plainly and simply what that means. All right. Just as long as you, I just want you to, you know what I mean, just walk with me. All right. So we can have a dialogue. All right. What does it mean when one person possesses another person? Because we're reading the Bible. Let me, as a matter of fact, read that from the top again. Let me put this on the screen. Verse 2 from the top.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
So the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Go ahead.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord.
Shall possess them. What does it mean to possess? Now, I see you talking about shapes again and numbers and all of that. I want you to tell me what it means to be possessed when one nation possesses another nation. Go ahead.
Possess them in the land of the Lord.
In the land of the Lord.
For servants and handmaids.
Nah, lovers and friends, like Usher and them.
For servant and handmaids.
Nah, for you know what I mean? You know what I mean? For best friends. Go ahead.
For servant and handmaids.
For servants and handmaids. What does it mean? And this kind of answered the question for you. What does it mean to be possessed as servants and handmaids? I'll let what's her name? Whoever this is in the chat, or anybody in the chat really can answer. But what does it mean to be possessed as servants and handmaids? Go ahead. You continue reading.
And they shall take them captive, whose captive they were.
And this is real, like this makes it real plain. Like this is a verse, this is a scripture that you probably have never heard in that Christian church, because this is very cut and dry. It's very cut and dry. It's like it cut and dry and straight to the point. It says, they shall possess them. The house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives. Go ahead.
Whose captive they were.
Whose captives they were. Go ahead.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
So the people that were in, see if somebody's paying attention in the chat. Okay, the hood streamer. I don't know how many times. Well, I haven't seen you in the chat, so I'm gonna give you a break. But no, the star refrain is not a witchcraft symbol. And if that's something that you was taught, or somebody taught you, or they would just have to prove it. You know what I mean? And if that's something that you believe, I don't know what you believe in, but if that's something that you believe, that this is the shield of David. If you believe that this is some witchcraft symbol, you would just have to show me the evidence that connects this symbol with witchcraft. You know what I mean? But if that's your question, that's the answer. All right. Let me see if Sushi is saying in the chat. You know what I mean? And this is going, please.
Now I'm just gonna add to that point. A meme is not a credible source either, Salakia.
I mean, I pray that, you know what I mean, nobody gotta tell, we ain't gotta tell our people that, but that's, oh my God. Yeah, a meme is not a credible source. You know what I mean? A meme, or, you know what I mean? You know what's crazy? Oh my God. I don't even know how to say this, but you know how many people I done had a conversation with, and they'll be like, yeah, they'll say all this crazy nutcase stuff. They'll be talking about aliens and the earth is flat and we live in a dome and all this crazy nutcase stuff. And they primary source is TikTok. They'll be like, look, I saw this TikTok video. Look at this. Look, I got the video right here. And they'll show me the video. I'll be like, I know damn well. Damn well you did not just open the kids app. You know what I mean? That's like Slacky, what you about to say?
I'm looking at this guy chat like he's doing like a mathematic equation on there. See, you got number plus 2 equal t. I don't know, something he got on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm just like that's why okay. My question, that's why I try to keep it simple. Cause I know it's so easy because we done been taught so much superstition in this earth. Slack you mind. Well, we'd have been taught so much superstition in this earth, so we believe all sorts of crazy nonsense. You know what I mean? So I just be wanting to know just the simple things. The simple things. All right. What did we just read? What does it mean? Just you know what I mean? Walk with me. Walk with me. What does it mean to be possessed by another nation for servants and handmaids and to take them captive who captives you were? What does that mean? I mean, it's right there. I mean, I really feel like it. I'm probably we good. Or did you unplug it? Damn. Uh we probably good now. It does it like once you unplug it and plug it back in, that usually solves the problem. You might need to do it one more time though. Cause we yeah, it froze up. You already unplugged it. Just I don't know. I think it might be the cable. Okay, yeah, we good. Okay. But okay. Okay, I'm not talking to you no more. You- If you look, the question I asked you ain't got nothing to do with no math or no numbers. All right, you know what I mean, and that's the number that Christianity has done on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like we believe we're desperately grasping for straws to try to find some sense of culture and identity. So we get to go into these horoscopes and trying to find like how many times I don't know if y'all heard about this, but like you know what I mean, people who see on the clock 11:11 and they gotta stop everything and make a wish and kiss their thumb and you know what I mean you can't split a pole or you gotta you know what I mean this is the perfect season for it you know what I mean where it's so many superstitions tied to January in itself just new what they call New Year's in itself like you gotta wash all your clothes and you got to make sure they dry before New Year's. Uh, you got to take out the trash because you can't have old trash in your house before New Year's. You got to eat you a big old bowl of black eyed peas and spinach and green beans and what's it called, collard greens and all of that because we superstitious. You know what I mean? We superstitious because we don't have anything else. We as far as we know, you know what I mean, outside of this culture, you know what I mean, we don't have our oppressor didn't give us anything else. So we just believe in, you know what I mean, whatever because we're slaves and we feel like we're powerless to change our condition. You know what I mean? We don't have any control over our lives. I mean, we just believe in little simple things. You know what I mean, we jump on a broom and we what else? Well, just all the superstitions that you know what I mean? It start raining outside, start thundering and lightning outside, and we think that well, we gotta unplug all the devices in the house because that's the Lord doing his work and all that. All these superstitions that we believe in. You know what I mean? It's because of our oppressor. But what we're trying to what we're trying to teach you tonight is that the most high is trying to give you justice. You know what I mean? So that's the answer to your question. You know what I mean? The answer to the question that I posed. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody it's a lot of, you know what I mean, crazy things going on in the chat, but ain't nobody answering the question. Let me see what the hood streamer got to say. All right. Okay. Do you realize? Okay, Hood Streamer. Okay, you said it. The Star of David, the Shield of David, has nothing to do with David. Okay, you said Magun Dawada earlier. I don't know if you realize, but Magun Dawada is Hebrew and it means Shield of David. So, are you saying that the Shield of David or the Magun Dawada has nothing to do with David? That's kind of. I just need an answer to that. It's called the Magun Dawada. Dawada is David in the Hebrew. All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. Slakia. Where you read verse 2? So they said, and people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. They shall rule over their oppressors. You know what I mean? That's justice. Right there, what we just read in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, that's justice. You know what I mean? That's in our culture. The Most High says, drop down to verse 21.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter.
Prepare hugs.
Prepare slaughter.
No, prepare because the whole point, because you let the Christian church tell it. You know what I mean? The whole point of what Christ came to do was to, you know what I mean, unify everybody and to give out hugs and kisses and love, and everybody's supposed to come together under one you know what I mean, under one God, under one banner. We supposed to be holding hands, and that's the only way. That's the only way to, you know what I mean, make it through this life, if we just love one another. But what did that say?
Prepare slaughter.
This is what the Most High is going to do to the enemies of the children of Israel. Go ahead.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
And that's another thing. The Christian, that's another thing that your oppressor will try to use against you. They'll be like, oh, well, slavery was 400 years ago. Or the people that, you know what I mean, mass incarcerated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that was so long ago. The people that killed or that took the life of, what's his name? The young boy's name, Emmett Till. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, that was so long ago. First of all, that wasn't so long ago. The woman that, you know what I mean, lied and got his life taken, she just recently passed after confessing that she made the whole thing up. But that's the first thing. They lie and say it was so long ago. It was the last, I believe I believe the last living slave was, you know what I mean, just recently passed. You know what I mean? But a lot of our grandparents and a lot of our parents was alive at the same time as slaves. You know what I mean? We're a generation or two away from American slavery. So that's the first thing. And, you know what I mean? It doesn't, the second thing is, like it says in what we just read, Isaiah the 14th chapter and the 21st verse, it doesn't matter. Read that from the top again.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers.
Prepare slaughter for their children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Now, somebody, you know what I mean, the people, you know what I mean, George Washington's children they didn't stop having children. George Washington didn't just, you know what I mean, stop having children. He had a wife and children, and then his children had children, and his children had children, and all of that. You know what I mean? You ask any so-called Edomite, so-called white man, and you ask them, what's your ethnicity? What's your nationality? And they're gonna be like, oh, I'm Irish, and my father was from Scotland, and my grandfather was this, that, and he was he was a cherry farmer, and just like they're gonna be able to run down their whole lineage. You know what I mean? They know their lineage. So that slaughter, that judgment is going to be for the children of the slave masters. So those same children, or those same you know what I mean, those children or those slave masters, they're going to be the ones that go into captivity because you were their captors, like it said in Isaiah 14 and verse 2. You were their captors, so their children are going to go into captivity. Go ahead, read on.
That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
See, the whole point of them going into captivity is that they don't rise and fill the land with cities, and they don't have an opportunity to destroy the world, the people in the world, the children of the Most High, like they have in the past. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. They have to go into captivity. Let's get the book of Obadiah. All right. Let me ask y'all a question real quick. Y'all in the room. Should we go into are we going into the Shield of David breakdown again? Because this is about the third or fourth week. Like please.
I mean, it's like it is the scripture breakdown class. You know what I'm saying?
God damn. I mean, I don't think I feel like I'm being like I feel like I'm in the scripture breakdown class. Like I'm just a piece of garbage. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody listening to me. But you know what I mean? A lot of people get in this chat and be trying to teach. You know what I mean? We've taught this topic so many times. This is not a new topic. You know what I mean? The reason why, okay, I'll go into it briefly. Let's get the book of Acts, the 7th chapter. Since we talking about the Star of Renfrew, or you know what I mean, what is it? What's the other one? The Star of Chian, or whatever they say. We could do either one. We could go to the Amos, the 5th chapter. We could go to Acts, the 7th chapter. You know what I mean, but first you got to understand what a star is. All right. So I understand you might hood streamer. And I'm gonna add your comment to the screen, right? Acts 7 and I believe 23. 23. If I'm not mistaken. 43. Okay, Most High Christ. But okay, hood streamer, since you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. All right. Go ahead, Root, you got?
It's the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 43.
Slakia, real quick. So for you to be able to understand as Slakia, as I go to you said the book of Acts, chapter 7 and 7 and 43. All right. Hood streamer. You know what I mean? Welcome to, you know what I mean? Welcome to our class. You know what I mean? The water for tuning in, which means thank you. The water in the Hebrew is just thank you. All right. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I mean, good to see you. First, before you can understand what, you know what I mean, the star of anything is, you first got to understand what a star is to begin with. All right. So let's just look up the definition of star. All right. Definition. All right. Star. Share this tab. And you know what I mean? And this is what, like, you know what I mean, this Bible wasn't meant for. Ain't no sweat, brother. You know what I mean? I appreciate the you know what I mean, the cooperation and the humility. You know what I mean, it's good to talk to a brother, you know what I mean, that is able to learn something new. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, I appreciate your presence and I appreciate your humility. All right. So, okay, first of all, what you got to understand about the Bible is it's not written for everybody. The literal book, the Holy Bible, the title of the Bible is Holy Bible. The word Holy Bible means separate records. Do I need to get the definition of holy in the Design of a Bible dictionary? I feel I really, Salaki, I really don't want to go through this whole thing again. I don't want to do it again. Like, this is about the 4th and 5th, and this ain't nothing against you, the hood streamer. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to clown you or nothing, but this is a topic that is constantly reoccurring. You know what I mean? In class, you know what I mean? We constantly got to go through, and I'm trying to give you the synopsis of it. But the reason why we got to go through these lengthy and in-depth breakdowns is because Christianity has done such a number on Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans to where, like, even after we leave the Christian church, we take it with us and we don't even realize that we're Christians. I mean, we leave that Christian church and we think we left the Christian church behind, but we take Christianity with us. So, like, everything that the Christian church taught us, the ideals that didn't come from the Bible, that didn't come from, you know what I mean, these scriptures, we take those ideals with us, and we don't even, you know what I mean? It's woven into who we are as a people. So we don't even realize that we're infected by the poison that is Christianity. All right. So, I mean, first thing first, you know what I mean? This Bible isn't written for everybody. It's not written for everybody. So when we see things in this Bible, you got to understand that this Bible was written for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the people in this Bible, the prophets, the scribes, you know what I mean, that was in this Bible, they talk like you. So when I say that's my dog right there, you know what I mean? Am I talking about I could be talking about a literal dog, like a puppy. That's my dog. That's my dog. You know what I mean? Or I could be saying, I could be talking about a person. That's my dog. Like, that's my day one. That's my, you know what I mean? That's my brother. You know what I mean? That's my homie. You know what I mean? That's my ride or die. That's how we talk. That's exactly how this Bible is written. So that's the first thing that you got to understand. All right. So let's see all the different definitions that Star could be possibly talking about. All right. You got the holy. Go ahead, read that, Baba Kashai. And this is important. This is important. I'll be brief. Go ahead.
This is the definition of holy in Bonnevarian Bible Dictionary.
So this is the definition of holy. See, we think that holy means that, you know what I mean, that big old hat that your grandmother, your auntie wore in that Christian church, or that 3-piece suit. But that's not what holy is. Go ahead.
The definition of holy, usually translated word derived from a Hebrew word kodash.
Kodash, right? What does kodash mean? So holy, kodash means holy in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
The basic meaning of kodash is separateness.
Is what?
Separateness.
No, for everybody.
Separateness.
So the Holy Bible is for everybody?
Separateness.
Separateness. That's the first thing that you got to learn about the Bible. So the language that's in this Bible is separate. Separate. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean, holy comes from the Hebrew word kodash, which means separate. You know what I mean, that's what the Bible is about. It's about separation. It's about separation of nations and people and children. It's about separation. You know what I mean? So the word Holy Bible, the word holy we just read means separate. Bible is a word that comes from the I believe it's Latin or Greek, or biblios, which means records. So these are the separate records of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right. So that's the first thing you got to understand. So certain words that you see in the Bible, keep that in mind, that it's just how Black people talk. All right. So go ahead, read the definition of star if you don't mind, Baba Kashai.
Both definitions?
Read 1 and 2 and then a verb.
Okay, the definition of star. The first definition: a fixed luminous point in the night sky, which is a large, remote, incandescent body like the sun.
All right, so the sun is a star. So does this look like the sun? No. So the first definition of star is what you will see in the night sky, right? Or the sun. Go ahead. Verse or second one.
The second definition: a conventional or stylized representation of a star.
Representation of a star. So when you see the shape, it's what man has, you know what I mean, tried to, you know what I mean, try to use to depict the first definition, right? Go ahead, read the first definition of the verb.
The verb of definition of a star: of a movie, play, or other show, have someone as a principal performer.
Someone as a principal performer. All right. So this is what you got to understand, the hood streamer. I mean, if you still tuning in, I appreciate your patience. You know what I mean, that's what star is talking about when you see it in the Bible. So when you see star, now let's get you still got Acts the 7th chapter. Now let me go ahead and share that verse on the screen real quick. Go ahead, read it when you got it.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 43. Yea, ye take up the tabernacles of Moloch.
We took up the tabernacles of Molech. Tabernacle is like a school or a place of worship. Go ahead.
And the star of your God.
And the who?
And the star of your God.
The star of your God. What is the star of your God? And this is the part that confuses a lot of Christians or a lot of people that's like that read the Bible and see the star of Rifran, the star of Chian. This is the part that confuses people. Read that part again.
And the star of your God.
The star of your God. What?
Rifran.
So who is the star of your God?
Rifran.
Who is the star of your God?
Rifran.
So this is the star of your God. What's this?
Rifran.
So this shape that you see isn't the star of your God. Rempran is the star of the God. That is the star. The star, Rempran is a person. Rempran is a person that was what's that definition? The principal performer of, or the chief representation of the god Moloch. That's what Rempran is. That's what the star of Rempran, or that's what the star of Moloch is. Rempran is the star of Moloch. Chian is the star of Moloch. It has nothing to do with this shape. You know what I mean? So I hope that helped you understand the hood streamer. You know what I mean? This shield of David that I have around my neck, this is not this has nothing to do with Remphan or Chian or any other star that you see in the Bible. This is a insignia that represents the children of Israel. That's why it's called the Magun Dawadah. You know what I mean? But I hope that answered your question. If you got any further questions, you can go ahead and just put them in the chat. Any further questions or comments? All right. Where was we at? Isaiah the 14th chapter and verse 21. Did we finish that? Right. And that's what you gotta understand about this Bible. Like, you cannot learn, huh? We finished it. Well, what you gotta understand, let me get the book of Obadiah. What you gotta understand is that you can't learn your culture from another nation of people. Like, you can't learn the Bible from white people, because again, this is the separate Holy Bible. Just means separate records. These are the separate records of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You can't learn or understand your separate records from a people that this Bible doesn't pertain to. You know what I mean? Just like you could tell by, you know what I mean, you just the way you talk, to just being around white people. You know what I mean? Y'all don't eat the same. You know what I mean? You can't eat at white people's house. You know what I mean? Because they be letting dogs lick the utensils and all of that. They be sitting at the table and they be feeding the dog as they cooking, and they don't cook their food all the way, and they don't season their food. And you know that you can't eat with white people unless you closely monitor what the hell they doing with that food, unless you closely inspect the environment that they cooking in. You know what I mean? You can't talk to white people. If as you talking to white people, you got to teach them your culture. You got to teach them. Like, if you say, oh, that good, damn, she hot. Yeah, they gonna be like, what's that mean? Like, oh, she that means she cold. She's hot and cold. What does that mean? That means she looks good. That means she looks beautiful. You're gonna have to explain yourself. You know what I mean? So just as you constantly have to explain your culture and your lingo, you got to understand that they can't understand this Bible. So you can't learn this Bible from them because they don't understand it. You're going to have to help them understand it. If you would have to help them understand it. You know what I mean? But because they don't understand this Bible, if you learn from white people, you're going to learn misunderstandings. Like, you're going to think that this shape that's on my shoulder, you know what I mean, that's on my arm and on my chest, that's right behind me, you know what I mean, you're going to think you're going to adopt every common misconception about the Bible if you learn the Bible from white people. Let me double check this comment real quick. Okay, I understand. What you okay, so a lot of us, like when we was in that Christian church, we learned from brothers. We learned from black people. It was a black person in that pulpit teaching us Christianity. It was a black mother that was teaching us Christianity in that pulpit. But what you got to understand is the Christianity that we know, or our point of view of what we think the Bible is about, or what Christianity is. We learned that was passed down from white people. So even though you learn from white people, you know what I mean, or it's like, forgive me, even though you learn from a black person, that black person you learned from learned from a white person. So you, even though it's a black person teaching you, you're still learning white Christianity from that black person. I mean, that's why I just went through the whole. That's why I had to just go through that whole breakdown. That's why I went to the definition of a star. That's why I went to the scripture. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know what I mean, we just able to go to these things off the top of our head a lot of times because it's not something new. It's not a new thing or a new indoctrination that we hear. Like the fact that you think that this is the star of Rifran or the star of Chin or the star of Molech, the fact that you think that, that's not new. It's just something that your Christian pastor or your I can't even remember where that came from. What are the some of the tip of it's like well, right there on the tip of my tongue. Oh, the so-called you know what I mean, the believe the Jewish man, you know what I mean, they adopted our culture, you know what I mean, in an attempt to remain what's it called, neutral between the war between the Muslims and the Christians. You know what I mean? They were spreading their religion by the force of the sword, right? And to remain neutral, they took they took the Old Testament, you know what I mean? And to try to demonize or try to, you know what I mean, to try to demonize them, they called they started to associate, it was white and white crime. White people started to try to associate this shield of David with witchcraft. You know what I mean? Just like white people lie. That's what you got to understand about your oppressor. White people lie. If you can understand that white people lie, then you can understand that you can start. That's the first step in the right direction to get Christianity off of your mind. You know what I mean? But white people lie, and this is just another white people. This is just another white lie that they told that oh, this is just associated to witchcraft, and you know what I mean. They went to Roman or they went to Acts the 5th chapter and or Acts the 7th chapter and Amos the 5th chapter and saw the word star in the Bible and associated it with some, you know what I mean, with a verse that they don't understand. You know what I mean? Go ahead, or please.
At a precept of what you were saying on that point.
Oh, please, the water.
This is Second Ezra 10:23. And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion.
The seal of Zion. This is what you see around my neck. Salaki, if you want to break it down.
Oh, yeah. No, God. Has now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us.
Did you want to say anything about it?
I just wanted to bring that out. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, man, they've taken I seal, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and perverted it to something that is not, to make people think that it's witchcraft. And you know, it's always funny that they never talk to the so-called Jewish man, and they don't confront him and say it's the Star of David, you know, or the Star of Renfram. Right. They always say y'all worshiping that star, but they never have that animosity towards them. It's because they've taken that and turned and internalized that white hate to our own, you know what I'm saying, seal and honors like it.
Right. No, that what he said was absolutely heavy. Did you want to add something to that?
So like it, man, just because I you saying like Israeli man, they over there, they got, you know, they got it just says on their flag. So what it is, I mean, I just question you should ask on the chat because it's a black man wearing it, right? And we feel like we disgrading it. We feel we should be associated with the Lord or the God of Rifram. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's trying to say, that we, you know what I'm saying? What is it? Right. Like you said, he ain't questioning the Israeli man over there. He got it on his flag. That's crazy.
That's an excellent point that you just made, because you know what I mean, when it said pray for Palestine or pray for Israel, you know what I mean, we doing GoFundMe's for them. We see that Israeli flag with that same shield of David on it. We sending money over there. You know what I mean? We saying pray for Israel, pray for Palestine. You know what I mean? We on their side, but like you said, like when you see a black man wearing the shield of David, now it's contention. Now we have to fight against it. And again, you know what I mean, this is no slight to you, the hood streamer. You know what I mean? I'm sure you are honest and genuine brother. You know what I mean? You've been cordial, and you know what I mean, you've been you know what I mean, you've been cordial up until this point. You know what I mean? So this ain't no slight to you, but this is just a testament to the mentality of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, how our oppressors did put us against one another. That's why we just read in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, that your oppressor, that the Most High is going to prepare slaughter for our oppressor for the sake of the children of Israel, for the crimes that they committed against us.
So why we went with a cross. That's just a slapping our father face. Why we wear something that he been crucified. That's why we don't wear the cross. The cross is just a symbol. That's the worst thing to wear because you wearing a cross that's your father that you follow. You so called you follow. You wear it on your neck with pride. He was crucified on that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like your kid gets shot with a gun, with a bullet, whatever. You're gonna wear the bullet on your neck. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't gonna do that.
Right. You know, that like that's a heavy point too, and that makes perfect sense. But you know what I mean? That just again goes to show that Christianity is one hell of a drug. The hood streamer, you know what I mean? Just answer this one question before you it seemed like you about to get up out of here. Before you, well, you know what I mean, before you leave the chat, what city or state that you in? You know what I mean? I would like to meet you. I would like to have a conversation face to face with you. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we got a lot of answers up in here, but it seemed like it seems like you might know a little something as well. You know what I mean? You might got a lot of something. You got a lot that you want to teach as well. You know what I mean? I see you in the chat. You trying to teach. So let me know what city or state that you in, so that maybe, you know what I mean, Lord willing, we can meet one another. You know what I mean? So that we can have this conversation face to face. All right. Just answer that for me real quick if you don't mind. You know what I mean? If you could. Where was we at? Obadiah.
Obadiah.
Let me get there with you. You can start wherever you want to start. Start wherever you want to start, brother.
Like 18.
Go ahead. Read 18. Let's see what 18 got to say.
It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18.
The book of Obadiah is just one book. As a matter of fact, let's see what 18 talking about. Ooh. Oh, ooh. First of all, I mean, start at one. It's like it. This really just you can just read this from top to bottom.
Right.
This is going to explain your oppressor to you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You got the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Hold that. Just keep reading. I'm gonna have if you just give me 1 second. Slakia. I ain't trying to put no burden on you, but if you don't mind, just looking up the Edom, Esau, and Edom. I can't remember which one. You know what I'm looking for though? Kind of wherever that is. It's either Esau or Edom. I can't remember which one it is. But go ahead, read what you got. Obadiah 1.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord God concerning Edom.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Concerning Edom. We're gonna find out who Edom is. Edom is the progenitor, or Esau is the progenitor of the so-called white man. He was red and hairy, and he is a hunter in this earth. You know what I mean? He is the most cruel bastard on the face of the earth. And I forget why his name. I can't remember why he's called Edom. But his name is Esau. But Esau and Edom are the same people. As a matter of fact, I really don't want to, because we're running out of time. As a matter of fact, let me just go to it. Edom. Salakia. Oh, you please.
I said the definition of Edom or the Edomites. Oh, Salakia.
If I could, real quick. Genesis 25 and 30. So because Esau, and this is another identifying marker of Esau being white people. It says, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Esau wanted to eat this raw meat. Therefore, remember what therefore means, right?
For that reason.
For this reason, right? For that reason, because he wanted to eat this raw meat, was his name called Edom. So Esau and Edom are the same people. You know what I mean? Because he wanted to eat this you know what I mean? He wanted to eat this red raw pottage, you know what I mean? Just like white people, you know what I mean? If you eat your steak anything under medium rare to white people, you'd ruin the steak. You know what I mean? You can't even have a medium steak. You know what I mean? You eat it. You ever heard of and I'm glad you said this brother said he's from Chicago. You ever heard of Chicago Blue? Or I might have this wrong. I think it's Chicago Blue. or Chicago style steak. You know what that is? A Chicago style steak. I could have the city wrong. Let me know if I got it wrong. And anybody in the chat if you know better than me. But I believe a Chicago blue steak is when you get a grill real hot, like white hot. Hot, huh? But you get a steak or you get a grill hot, and you basically burn the outside of the steak. You burn the outside of the steak, and the inside is cold, raw. And that's how they eat their steak. That's how they eat their steak. That's just how they prefer to eat it. You know what I mean? You see, please.
The definition of a Chicago blue steak is a steak that is seared at a very high temperature for just 1 to 2 minutes on each side, leaving the center nearly raw.
Nearly raw. Yep. Yeah. That's how your oppressor eats their food. You know what I mean? You know how many times I done spent a decent amount of time in the kitchen. You know how many times they didn't ate a burger, or they'd be like, take the burger and just kiss it on the grill. But that's what like they say kiss it on the grill. Just on each side, put it on the grill for about 5 seconds on each side, and put it on the bun and give it to me. Like that's how I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about me assigning this attribute to the so-called white man, just tell me. But I think we all can agree, especially as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that this is a attribute that most white people own. And of course, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we follow after our oppressor, some of us eat our steak the same way. There's nothing wrong with eating a rare steak or a mid-rare steak. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as that blood up out of there. You know what I mean? But primarily this preference of how to eat your steak comes from your oppressor. It's like you was about to say.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna add to that point. In Wisconsin, they got something called cannibal sandwiches. Oof. Like it's a like their tradition out there where they just eat raw beef with onions. You know what I'm saying? That's how you go to the restaurant and you get the cannibal sandwich with the raw beef and the onions and the bread. So like it.
Damn, that's crazy. Cannibal sandwich is crazy. That's first of all, cannibal is, you know, the cannibal is. So that just to describe that as a meal is, it just shows the insanity of our oppressor. You know what I mean? Not to mention, you know what I mean, beef carpaccio. If you look at beef carpaccio, it's gonna be raw meat on the plate, cold raw meat on the plate. Beef tartare, raw meat, cold raw meat on the plate. Let me think. What else? What's it called? What's it called? I think charcuterie. It's just ground meat. It's like liver, and it's just liver, blood sausage. It's just good night. It's just like blood and rice. You know what I mean? It's in our culture though, in these separate records, that we don't eat the blood of an animal. You know what I mean? It's in our culture to not do that. But this is what your oppressor wants to do. All right. But go ahead, read what you got. But that's what you got to understand about Esau and Edom. You know what I mean? They're the same person. They're just the same people, talking about the same people. It's talking about white people. All right. And this is the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord concerning Edom, concerning white people. Salakia, did you ever Baba Kashaf, if you don't mind?
The definition of Edom. All right. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34 and 63. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
Dang. This is the only, read that again, Baba Chest. Like I was reading these crazy comments.
She is the only neighbor of the Israelites.
No, because God loved everybody. We all brothers. You know what I mean? Esau is our brother, right? But what did it say about Esau, Edom?
She is the only neighbor of the Israelites.
So he the neighbor of the Israelites. Go ahead.
Who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
Nah, but God loves everybody. Ain't that what Christ came for?
She was not given any promise of mercy from God.
Well, there you have it. That's the breakdown right there. That's Esau Edom. Oh, you got it. That's Esau Edom for you. Is the only nation that is not given any promise of mercy. So all you people that want to, try to save white people and try to, try to save white people and try to, make marriages with them and try to, I got it, don't worry about it. Try to make marriages with them and try to love them and try to integrate them into your culture. Just remember, no matter what you try to do for white people, they are the only nation of people that are not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. That same Most High that you say loves everybody, same Most High that is going to prepare slaughter for them. Same Most High that gives them no promise of mercy. Go ahead. In the book of Obadiah.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. In the vision of Obadiah, thus say the Lord God concerning Edom.
Verse 3. Slacky.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee.
Now, what nation of people is more proud than a white person? Just tell me. If there's any nation of people that's more prideful than a white man, and give me proof. You know what I mean? Strives to run the entire world? You know what I mean? Who has more representation in the United Nations? You know what I mean? Who, you know what I mean? You could be minding your business, but your oppressor has to bother you like they did that brother, what was that brother name? That was jogging. Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I mean? He was minding his business, and because, you know what I mean, or what, I'll give you better, you know what I mean, one better, you know what I mean, what's his name? George Zimmerman. You know what I mean? Where Trayvon Martin, he just didn't stop for this white man with a gun. And he didn't like that he just didn't feel the need to listen to you a stranger danger, and he didn't stop for you. So he took his life. I mean, who's more prideful than the so-called white man? Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart had deceived thee.
Your pride has deceived you. You know what I mean? You think that your pride, you know what I mean? You think that your pride is going to keep Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as your slaves. You think that all you got to do is just believe in all your heart, and that all you got to do is just cover the faces of the judges. All you got to do is just make the prophets white, and all you got to do is make Moses white, and all you got to do is make Christ white and put that white Christ in that Christian church, and all you got to do is dominate Christianity and Catholicism and make it turn the Bible into some white religion, and that's all you got to do. And your pride is going to deceive you in the end. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Now, what the word Caucasian refers to the Caucasus Mountains. You know what I mean? Where that's what Caucasian means. White people are called Caucasians, and they're called Caucasians because they come from the mountains of the Caucasus Mountains. You know what I mean? They dwell in the mountains. I mean, even now, like, you know what I mean? You go to the mountain, what is it called? Them states that's you know what I mean, heavy in the mountains and all of that. It's mostly like what Wisconsin or like yeah, you know what I mean, these mountain states, Colorado, and you know what I mean, all of these. It's more white people than a little bit. You know what I mean? They dwell in the clefts of the rocks. Go ahead.
Whose habitation is high.
Go ahead.
That said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
See, Americans can't imagine America falling. Donald Trump can't imagine. He didn't, when he had them felonies, he didn't, and he couldn't imagine going to jail. He was like, he knew, not only did he know that he wasn't going to jail, but he knew that he was going to win the election. He knew it because he says in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Go ahead.
Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
So though your oppressor exalts themselves and makes themselves as the eagle, right? What's the number one mascot of every, you look at any most, you know what I mean, white dominant countries, you know what I mean, in the world, their mascot is the eagle. Right. You know what I mean? Look at all the money, you know what I mean, on all the coins and all the dollars. It's an eagle on there. You know what I mean? The bird that represents America is the eagle. You know what I mean? They exalt themselves above all nations. Go ahead.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
They set the nest amongst the stars. So they wanna be they wanna be all in the space force, and they wanna send satellites up to the moon, and they wanna go to the moon and back and all of that. And you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Thence will I bring thee down,
Will I bring you down? Go ahead. Who's gonna bring them down? Go ahead.
said the Lord.
Saith the Lord. The Lord is gonna bring them down. But you know what? We can't rely on our personal strength. You know why? Because the thing that you want to do to your oppressor, the way you want to get justice for your oppressor is not enough. It's just not. That's they you're not going to be able to exact the judgment that your oppressor deserves. Like as a nation, they're going to receive justice. They're going to receive judgment. And like we just read in Romans, the 12th chapter, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I will repay. The Lord is going to give them justice. Go ahead.
Verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
See, the thing about your oppressor is they like, wouldn't you think like if they like, okay, if black people they go in your house and steal from you, they just gonna take the TV, they might take the radio out your car, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean, your oppressor, when they steal from you, they gotta take everything. Like they gotta clear the field of all the grapes. You know what I mean? They gotta make sure they mass, you know what I mean? They mass incarcerate all black people. Like, haven't they locked us up enough? You know what I mean? Haven't they? What you about to say?
So like I was gonna ask you if this would go along with how they went off and killed all the buffaloes from the Native Indians. Like just when I just like bring the buffalo to extinct.
Like, wouldn't you like? It's one thing to like steal, you know what I mean, and gather, you know what I mean, resources and all of that, but they had to extinct the buffalo. Right. You know what I mean? They had to mass genocide the Native Americans. You know what I mean? And push them west in the Trail of Tears. They had to completely destroy them. They had to take the entire, you know what I mean, the entire North, Central, and South America from the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? They had to put all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in captivity. You know what I mean? Wouldn't just a couple slaves been enough? But they had to take all of us and put us in captivity. You know what I mean? That's what you think. Like when you know what I mean? You hit a lick, you like, what's your thought? If you know what I mean, in the world, right? You hit a lick, you like, just this one lick. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is just hit this lick real quick and I'm out the game. You know what I mean? Hit this one lick and then lay low. That's what you think about. But your oppressor, they don't stop. Like they have to abuse you. Like how Derek Chauvin, you know what I mean? He put his knee on George Floyd's neck and, you know what I mean, suffocated him for almost 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like once you got the man on the ground and subdued and in handcuffs and he on the ground calling for his mama and he on the ground saying, I can't breathe, and he's crying. You got this 6 foot something grown man, 200 something pound grown man on the ground crying for his mama. Wouldn't that be enough for you to just be like, all right, yeah, I showed him. Wouldn't that be enough? But no, that's not enough for your oppressor. Go ahead, read on.
Oh my God. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they would they not leave some grapes?
Wouldn't they leave some grapes? See, like, you know what I mean? When black people, we hit licks, you know what I mean? Like the brother said in the chat, when we hit licks, you know what I mean? We'll leave something. You know what I mean? We might, you know what I mean? The crackhead might come in your house and steal your TV, but he gonna leave the damn toaster on the counter. You know what I mean? Like a Bond said in the chat, you know what I mean? They gonna hit licks and they gonna keep hitting licks and they still hitting licks to this day. You know what I mean? On Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Where we destitute in the you know what I mean, the barrios and the reservations and in the ghettos and all of that, they still hitting licks on our poor behinds. You know what I mean? Well, we can't have nothing. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Salakia. Verse 10.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10. Without violence against thy brother Jacob.
No, because we just, we just hate white people so much for no reason.
With violence against thy brother Jacob.
Because you've been so violent against thy brother Jacob, go ahead.
Shame shall cover thee.
Shame is going to cover you. Go ahead.
Thou shalt be cut off forever.
So what this brother just read out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary concerning Esau, Edom, they're the one nation that's not promised any, what did it say? Salakia.
She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
So they're not given any promise of mercy from God because of what? Read verse 10 again.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. That's why. That's why the Most High. That's why the Most High hates these other nations. That's why they deserve the judgment that they're gonna get, that we just read in the book of Obadiah, the 10th verse. For thy violence, for them covering the faces of the judges thereof, for them saying that Christ is a white man or there's no color in the Bible, for them fooling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and thinking that God loves everybody, for them fooling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. When you see this symbol, for them fooling you and telling you that, oh, this is associated with witchcraft, and this is the star of Chian or the star of Rifran or the star of Molech, for them telling you those things. So when you see this symbol, you're supposed to think, when you see that symbol behind me, you're supposed to think that, you're supposed to realize that these are my people coming to save me. You're supposed to feel safe when you see that. Just like when you see that police badge, when white people see that police badge and they like, oh, good, the police are here. Where black people, we see the police and we just like run. We could be innocent or we could be completely innocent and have done no crime, but we see them blue and red lights and we just like, I got to get the hell from around here. You know what I mean? It's just something in us. You know what I mean? But that's what we supposed to feel when we see this shield of David. When we see this shield of David, we supposed to see this and be like, oh, good, the police are here. You know what I mean? The authority of the Most High God are here. You know what I mean? The sons of David, you know what I mean? The priests are here to set this straight. You know what I mean? That's what, you know what I mean? What's her name? Sonia Massey. You know what I mean? If she would have seen this symbol on a black man, you know what I mean? She would have felt a whole lot more comfortable. If she knew what this symbol meant, she would have felt a whole lot more comfortable and safer. You know what I mean? She wouldn't have had to call on the police, but instead she saw this symbol on the. Let me show you something. She saw this symbol. She saw this symbol on a devil, and that's why she lost her life that night. Go ahead. What you about to say? What'd you say? Uh-huh. Yeah. And this is why they use this image right here. You see, this is why when you see the sheriffs, when you see the police, when you see their badge, this is the shape of their badge, because this is what this is supposed to be to black people. But instead of seeing this on a black man, you know what I mean, which had the morals that's in his Bible, which had the culture of his Bible, you know what I mean, instead of seeing that on a black man, they slapped it on a devil with the morals of Obadiah or of Esau, you know what I mean, who's violent against the Israelites. Go ahead, read that again, verse 10.
It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10. But thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
See, they slapped this shield of David on a devil. They slapped this shield of David on the representatives of devils, the representatives of America. You know what I mean? With the morals and ideals and the training from America. And they enter your house and you just need help. You didn't feel safe. So Sonia Massey called the police thinking that they would make her feel safe. But because a devil was wearing this rather than a brother with the morals of the Most High God, she lost her life. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
And because of their violence against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, for how merciless they are to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they're going to be cut off forever. And that is justice. And that's the justice that the Most High is trying to give to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If only we just cooperate with the Most High God. If we just follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, then the Most High will show us this justice. You know what I mean? We march in the streets and say, no justice, no peace. There ain't no justice or no peace. There ain't no justice or no peace because we trying to have peace right next to our murderer. You know what I mean? We trying to have justice and beg for justice from the people who will never have justice for or show us no justice or no mercy. It's like yeah. Where we at? D, you could go ahead and give me verse 18 real quick.
Going to come, verse 18. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame.
You know what the Most High is going to use as his justice to bring justice on our oppressor? He's going to use you. You know what I mean? But he can't use a drug addict. He can't use a drug dealer. He can't use a Christian who loves white Jesus. Go ahead.
In the house of Esau for stubble.
And the house of Esau is going to, so Joseph, the house of Israel is going to be a flame, and Esau is going to be the stubble that's burnt up. Go ahead.
And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remains of the house of Esau.
No, but God loves everybody, and we should just try to save them. What did that say?
And there shall not be any remains of the house of Esau.
Why? Why is there going to be any remains of white people? White people are not going to exist. They're going to be extinct. Why are white people going to be extinct?
For the Lord has spoken
No,
it.
because ISUPK spoke it.
For the Lord has spoken it.
No, because Caucus spoke it.
For the Lord has spoken it.
Because the Lord said it. That's what you got to realize about this Bible. This Bible can't be for everybody because there's going to be one people that's going to be consumed off of this earth. Bible's not for everybody. This Bible belongs to Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is the separate records of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? And for us to get any sort of justice, we can't look to Donald Trump, who is a liar. We can't look to the voting system. You know what I mean? Because every time we vote, we lose. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Every time we vote for reparations, they deny your reparations. Every time we march in the streets and say no justice, no peace, they deny us justice and peace. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to vote your way out of slavery because you didn't vote your way into slavery in the first place. You're not going to be able to vote your way out. You know what I mean? But for us to be able to receive this justice that we just read, we have to come back to our culture and understand that this culture is the most important thing in the entire world. It's going to be more important than your ability to run fast or jump high or your ability to, you know what I mean, to fight or to, which all of these things are important. You know what I mean? You should be able to fight and you should be able to, you know what I mean, to be able to, you know what I mean, do certain things. You should have certain abilities, but that's not where your justice is going to come from. The scriptures say, give me this, Salakia. I believe it's in the book of Hebrews. I could be wrong. The horse is prepared against the day of battle. Does that sound familiar? But let me see. Salaki. Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21 and 31. You can go ahead and read it when you got it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord.
So you can prepare, you know what I mean? You can stockpile all your rice and beans and your guns, and you can build your bunkers and all of that. You know what I mean? Anybody telling you don't do that. Get your generator, get all of that. We encourage you to do all of those things. Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, get all of those things. But, you know what I mean? The one key component that we missing is, read that again, Bob Shaw.
God. What's like? This is Proverbs 21 and 31. the horse is prepared against the day of battle.
So we nice and prepared. We jump high, we run fast, we strong, we you know what I mean, we read in all the books. You know what I mean, I see a lot of these nutcases in the chat doing all sorts of mathematics and all of that. You know what I mean, we reading all sorts of books and watching TikToks and YouTube videos, getting nice and smart, right? But go ahead.
But safety is of the Lord.
Safety is of the Lord. So it don't matter how prepared against battle you are, if the Lord is not with you. And the only way to get the Lord to be with you is to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's lucky. But you know what I mean? With that, you're gonna end it right there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? Share it with your friends, and whether you agree or not, you know what I mean, share it with your friends. You know what I mean? You a heckler, go ahead and share it with your other hecklers. You know what I mean? Y'all get in this chat and get it on. Maybe could have a good conversation. You know what I mean? Or if you agree, share it with your family anyway. You know what I mean? So that they can learn, so that they can get this understanding that, you know what I mean, may have helped you. You know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and make sure, you know what I mean, if you watching this video and or you watching you're not able to maybe we might have missed a comment or a question that you had in the chat. You know what I mean? After this class is over, you can hit that QR code in the corner, and then morning, noon, and night, brothers will be in there to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. You know what I mean? And Lord willing, we'll be able to see you in one of these classes someday, whether you're a heckler or whether you're, you know what I mean, whether you're a sincere brother or sister. You know what I mean? With that, let's say I majum, which means to stand. Give courtesy to brothers. Majum. Yahaba Chimia Jabata, Yajibata, Thor, perfect. I Majum, Barat, Yahaba, Yajibata, Yajibata, classic.